In a quiet suburban town in October 1988, a troubled teenager named Donnie lived with his family, a sharp-tongued older sister, a younger sister full of curiosity, and parents who loved him but couldn't quite understand him. Donnie was brilliant, but deeply tormented, prone to episodes of sleepwalking and visions he couldn't explain. He often saw a figure, a tall man in a grotesque, metallic rabbit costume, who called himself Frank. One night, Frank appeared to Donnie and led him out of his home, whispering a countdown, 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds, until the world would end. While Donnie was gone, something incredible happened. A jet engine, with no identifiable origin, fell from the sky and crashed directly into his bedroom. He would have died had he been there. From that point on, things began to twist in strange and impossible ways. Donnie started to see patterns in the world, invisible forces that connected people, like paths of light extending from their chests, guiding them to unknowable fates. He became obsessed with the nature of time, destiny, and free will, reading a mysterious book called The Philosophy of Time Travel, written by a reclusive old woman the kids in town called Grandma Death. She used to be a nun. Now she stood by her mailbox all day, waiting for something, anything. Meanwhile, Donnie's mind unraveled further. Frank appeared more often, always cryptic, always watching. Donnie flooded the school, burned down a local motivational speaker's house, and uncovered the man's disturbing secrets. But somehow, he didn't feel like he was losing control. It felt necessary, like fate was bending around him, forcing his hand. At school, Donnie met a new girl, Gretchen. She was kind, cautious, and clearly running from her own pain. Together, they became each other's sanctuary. They talked about time travel, death, and love like two souls who had already lived 100 lifetimes. With her, Donnie started to feel something resembling peace. But the feeling wouldn't last. The town grew darker as Halloween approached, the date Frank had given for the world's end. Donnie's visions became louder, more urgent, and then everything collided. On Halloween night, Donnie and Gretchen went looking for Grandma Death, but instead of answers, they found cruelty. A group of bullies attacked them. In the struggle, Gretchen was thrown to the road and struck by a car. The driver stepped out, horrified. It was Frank, not the masked figure, but a real young man, in a rabbit costume, on his way back from a party. Donnie stared at him, calm, almost knowing. He pulled a gun and shot Frank through the eye. Then, the sky broke open. Above them, a vortex spun in the clouds, a tear in reality. The countdown was almost over. Donnie understood now. He had been living in a tangent world, a doomed offshoot of time caused by the falling jet engine, something that wasn't supposed to exist. The only way to restore balance was to sacrifice the one anomaly that held it all together, himself. So Donnie drove to the ridge, watching the sky collapse in reverse. The jet engine, the same one that crashed into his room, was sucked backward through time, and Donnie, now back in his bed, 28 days earlier, simply smiled as it fell. He died alone, but the world was restored. The people he knew, Gretchen, his family, Frank, woke up the next morning with a strange, quiet sadness, as if they had dreamed of someone they'd never met but couldn't forget. Gretchen, riding her bike past the wreckage, paused when she saw Donnie's mother. They shared a nod, not knowing why. Somewhere beyond time, the rabbit suit still lingers, and the question echoes. What if you had to die to save everyone you love, and no one would ever know?